he thinks that he's the most intelligent person, and the next thing ever to happen, the next best thing ever to happen in Kenya after the sliced bread. Why? Because he has said, oh, nyinyi hamuna PhD, hakuna kitu mnaweza kuniambia. That kind of arrogance.
Career critics you are.
Yeah? You know, that kind of arrogance, that he has a PhD. If he has a PhD, what is he doing with the people without PhDs? A person with... Please, Kenyans, offer yourself. Sacrifice yourself. Join hands. Let us join each other in redeeming this country. Let us join each other in redeeming and rebuilding our country. It is our country. It is the only bush we have. If the bush burns, we will have no place to call home.
Be the dead and Kimani.
We have to be the person that we must be for us to redeem this country. It's a call that I'm calling upon all Kenyans. It's a very emotional call that I'm doing and making this
I'm
time.
seeing very passionate about it.
It's a very emotional call I'm calling. When we come out there, please come and embrace us. Don't ask us to mobilize you with 2,000, 8,000. We don't have. But we have the call and the duty and the obligation to redeem this country. The only thing that we have, just like Moses when he was being called to lead the children of Israel from Egypt, is just a stick and a staff that we are going to hold onto our hands. We part the waters of the Red Sea for the children of Israel to pass. Oh, Kenyans, come and join us.
There you have it. Give it to them.
Thank you.
To be fair to our diaspora community.
Mokoria Kenya ne ya uikiri nyaga ya itungati inengweigwa mokuga ati nengweigwa ninasahau kidogo, nitaikumbuka kidogo. Okay.
And it's just in time for Richard Mwenja exclusive. The month is April, the year of our Lord 2025. Such a privilege to have you on board. Yet again, I'm here to bring home conversations that are shaping Kenya's political and governance landscape. I'm Richard Mwenja, karibu sana. And today I have this phenomenal thought leader from Kirinyaga County. He's been endorsed for many positions come 2027, top of it being the Senate of Kirinyaga County. It remains to be seen how that will unfold when the fullness of time comes to show. I'm talking about renowned lawyer Ndego Njiru, the first of his name. Black Bull, how are you?
I'm well, Richard. How have you been?
I've been quite well.
Yeah.
Looking sharp as always.
Thank you, Richard. I'm really humbled.
All right. It's been barely 3 weeks since we last
I remember we had a show.
But so much has unfolded after our last meeting. And it's only fair that we start from affairs of Mount Kenya block when it comes to the political future of this country.
Yes.
And the last few weeks have been full of dossiers from now ex-state officers.
Yes.
Case in point, we're talking about Justin Muturi among a few others. But let's center our conversation, the starting point of it, on Justin Muturi.
Yeah.
He's out here claiming that President William Ruto is unfit to lead this country.
Yeah.
Terming him as the definition of corruption in this country.
Yeah.
The same allegations have been upheld by former DP Rigathi Gachagua, saying the president is the signpost of corruption in this country, unfit to lead.
Yeah.
Ndego Njiru, would you say that people like Justin Muturi and former DP Rigathi Gachagua could be talking out of bitterness and not really facts about President Ruto and his administration?
Allow me first of all to begin by correcting you that these are not allegations. These are factual. This is fact that Mr. William Ruto is irretrievably corrupt, irredeemably corrupt, and he holds position number 1 in the world as the most corrupt individuals, or as the first most corrupt citizen of the world.
He came in as second.
Well, he has now taken that position with the oust of Al-Assad of Syria. So Mr. William Ruto is currently number 1. He holds that uncontested medal of being the most corrupt citizen of the world. So what Muturi says, what CS Muturi says, is not an allegation. It's a fact.
Statement of fact?
Equally well, what His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua has said is not an allegation. Those are facts. Uncontested facts. When Mr. William Ruto had the opportunity of addressing the nation at Sagana launch, he avoided that issue. Even to date, he has not discounted the statement made by Muturi. He has not said that Muturi's statements are not factual. He has not discounted it. And remember, this is not the first time we are saying that William Ruto is corrupt. That has been his title. It is his tag. It is his baptism name. That if you want to see any corrupt person, you go to William Ruto. And by the way, when we take over power in 2027, we shall build Mr. William Ruto a nice kazoo, so that anybody in the world who want to see the most corrupt individual of the world will have a place to go and see him.
What outfit are you speaking on its behalf? The Wiper-led coalition?
Well, we are not just talking about the Wiper-led coalition. And by the way, we are rebranding Wiper.
Soon enough?
Very soon. And it will be an auspicious and big occasion of rebranding.
But MP Didmas Barasa has dismissed people like you and Kalonzo Musyoka, saying that is wishful thinking that Ruto is going to be a one-term president. Do you take concern with that concern?
I have always told you not to give credence to people who do not deserve in our show. Baraza can never form subject of our debate when we have more important things to debate about.
So let's circle back to important.
So you had asked about the outfit.
Yeah, sure.
And I've told you that there is Kalonzo, His Excellency Dr. Kalonzo, His Excellency Rigathi, Her Excellency Martha Karua, and Waziri Eugene Wamalwa axis. And you need to watch that space. Anybody dismissing us, and of course they do not give credence to what is not worth our airtime, will have a shock of his own calling. And of course, you have seen that Kasongo himself has realized that he's losing this election. When he was in Mount Kenya region, you could see the body language was, of course, communicating to him that he has lost a significant number of 6 million from the mountain. And 6 million, you need to therefore add the votes of the discontented and the disgruntled members of the society.
But in the same measure, he has claimed to be the Mount Kenya kingpin to this time.
We give it to him. Wacha ajifurahishe. Wacha aseme imtoke.
Living an illusion
of his own. Mr. William Ruto is living in an illusion. He's actually dreaming.
You are talking about this coalition that will send President William Ruto home in 2027. But then again, there seems to be a parallel outfit that led by Matiang'i and highly endorsed by Jeremiah Kioni, which they believe Matiang'i is going to be the flag bearer and Uhuru Kenyatta the deputy. Do you think that the true standing of former President Uhuru Kenyatta when it comes to the politics of 2027?
I don't think my friend, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, is that daft.
Daft is the word?
He's not that daft. He's a bright and well endowed leader. Well endowed with charisma. And he understands what is good for this country in the circumstances. And therefore he knows that he cannot even bring that kind of an assumption you're speaking about.
But Kioni is ahead in that assumption.
Kioni is a lone ranger. Has that been endorsed by Jubilee?
Not yet.
I am a member of Jubilee. And I hold high positions in that political party. It has not been endorsed. Hiyo ni siasa yake ya kando. Because Kioni is not one individual who can work with other people. You have seen that he always goes out alone. He's a lone ranger. And for him, he believes that he has a supersonic mind that cannot be rivaled by any other person. So the reason why Mr. Kioni, Honorable Kioni, is introducing a man who has not said that he is willing to be a president, a man who has not announced his candidature, a man, he is endorsing a man who is not even in the Republic of Kenya, is because he thought he would take the lead in Mount Kenya region. Now, with the coming of the Gitungati #1, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, he found that he has no space. So for him, he's trying to create another axis to create some relevance. Because Kioni thrives on relevance.
A spineless politician?
Well, if he thinks that he has a candidate, why has he not introduced him in his constituency in Daragwa?
You seem to be implying that Jeremiah Kioni this far remains a political greenhorn.
He's basically inconsequential.
Inconsequential?
He's inconsequential in the whole matrix.
You've been talking about President Ruto is corrupt. Those are not allegations, those are statements of fact.
Yes.
But equally so, he believes Rigathi Gachagua is the corrupt state of
now he has a state machinery. If he thinks His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua is corrupt, let him operationalize the state machinery. The accusations
of Gachagua
and by the way,
10 billion bribe.
Listen,
sure.
Richard. You never saw any allegation of corruption or embezzlement of public funds in the impeachment motion. It never formed a subject. So I believe when His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, Gitungati #1, says that he's a truthful man, I have now come to confirm, after having interacted with him at a great length, more than most of the Kenyans, and the fact that that never formed the basis of impeachment, it tells you that that is as clean as white as snow. Do not you ever think that Kasongo anaweza pata pesa hapa apate opportunity ya kuchukua akose kuchukua, especially when he's speaking about 10 billion. 10 billion. It is him who would have taken that money. The 10 billion? Yes, it is. Mr. William Ruto is the first person who is going to lead the proposals of how money should be embezzled. He's not one person who can protect our resources. He's one person who can take our resources. Talking of which, and steal our resources. Do you take seriously the concerns by Justin Muturi that he opted out of office because President Ruto wanted to perpetrate corruption through scandals with foreigners? Rigathi Gachagua talks about today Arore and Kimwarere Dam. Just today I was in court. President. I was in court with His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka. I was in court today with Eugene Wamalwa Waziri, Kibe Mungai. We are fighting to regain the Adani. Sorry, to regain the JKIA from Adani. So when CS Muturi speaks, he's speaking from a very serious point of information. And I can tell you this because I'm handling that petition. And the AG, the AG was compelled by the court to lay bare his defense. He never brought the agreement between him and Adani, because it had not been endorsed by the AG, the Attorney General, CS Muturi as then. What they have now brought in court is a letter indicating the revocation of that tender. It's a tender that was done outside CS Muturi's office as the Attorney General. It was actually done by individuals who are not sanctioned by the law. It was done by Mr. William Ruto and his proteges. Even the agreement that is currently in court, the Attorney General has not signed it. It has been signed by William Ruto's stooge and cabals of thieves. So even the dismissal of Muturi from cabinet Muturi was not dismissed. It's only that William Ruto could not stomach a man who speaks his mind in cabinet. Nothing to do with Muturi being a fairly incompetent AG from the optics of President Ruto. I don't. It is unfortunate that we can even sit here to discuss the statements made by Mr. William Ruto. He never engages his faculties into thinking before he engages his mouth. For one reason. Sure. If CS Muturi is incompetent, why did you retain him as the AG? If indeed he was incompetent, why did you recruit him as a CS? Giving him a second chance. Giving him a second chance. How do you reward incompetence with appointments? It tells you the problem that we are suffering in this country is that we are being led by a person who does not understand governance. And that's the greatest cancer that is eating our country. And then when Honorable Muturi says that Mr. William is unfit to lead this country, he's only confirming the obvious. He's also recommending mental assessment of our president. I have severally recommended that Mr. William Ruto needs to undergo mental examination. I have severally made that recommendation. And it is contemplated by our constitution. Our constitution under Article 144 contemplates that a president can run mad. And it is true. You do not need to see Mr. William Ruto walking along Moi Avenue naked for you to know or to come to a conclusion that he needs a mental assessment and mental treatment. The statements that he makes, the conduct that he has. Listen, the other day when he was in Meru, and he was addressing the Mira cartel, he said, mambo ni mata, mwache kuibia watu, mpelekwe jela ama mwende hiyo safari. Who speaks like that? Unajua ama tuatume ile safari. Who speaks like that? A president speaking that he's going to kill his citizens just because he's a cartel? Jela binguni ama Muhame Kenya. Hakusema ama Muhame Kenya ama niwapeleke ile safari ama niwasafirishe. Zayuni alisema niwasafirishe. A president speak like that recklessly? And you think that he can attract honor from his subjects? We cannot respect such a man.
He has cheapened the presidency?
He has destroyed the presidency. Instead of this guy saying, we shall put into place the mechanism that we shall address the challenge facing the people of the Mera people.
To crack down cartels.
To crack down cartels. The guy says, nitawasafirisha. What a reckless statement coming from a head of state.
So what do you make of President Ruto's philosophy of management? Much more of micromanagement and latter-day dictatorship?
Well, you know, Richard, it baffles me when you speak about
philosophy of management.
Philosophy of management, because he has none. William Ruto has no philosophy of management. He only manages his stomach. The philosophy is that of managing his stomach. The philosophy is that of managing his pocket. He has a philosophy of depleting our public resource. He has a strategy of stealing every parcel of land that belongs to government that appears unoccupied. He has a strategy of entrenching himself as a despot and a tyrant. That's the philosophy Mr. William Ruto thinks that he can operationalize in this country.
You're talking about him going out here looking for projects that are only going to benefit his stomach.
Yes.
But in Mount Kenya region, he was talking about projects for the people, launching and commissioning projects that are for the better good of the people of Mount Kenya and the country at large. Were all those litany of lies from your lenses?
Richard, before Mr. William Ruto had his final tour in Mount Kenya region, and before he went to sign his political obituary in Mount Kenya region.
Political obituary?
Yes.
It's already written?
Yes.
Published?
Yes, before he went to confirm his political obituary. He had made some attempts to visit Mombasa Coast region. He made attempts to visit Northeastern and Western. Tell me, which project did he launch that is currently existing? I'll just give you a very simple example. And by the way, you also had a tour of Nairobi.
Sure.
Here in Nairobi, just opposite NYS, on your way to Mathare Valley, he came and launched affordable housing there. Go tell me whether there is anything that is happening there. The tractors are no longer there. The excavators are no longer there. It's pure zero work taking place.
So even they talk about last mile connectivity, launch, commissioning drainage systems in Embu, all that could remain hot here?
Not here. He always launches them in his imaginations, and they remain a figment of his imaginations.
So would you say that the president is underestimating public intelligence because you're talking about him?
He has not even underestimated it, Richard. He has confirmed that he thinks that he's the most intelligent person, and the next best thing ever to happen in Kenya after the sliced bread. Why? Because he has said, oh, nyinyi hamuna PhD, hakuna kitu mnaweza kuniambia. That kind of arrogance.
Career critics you are.
Yeah? You know, that kind of arrogance that he has a PhD. If he has a PhD, what is he doing with the people without PhDs? A person with...
So, Ndegwa Njiru, I'm talking now about the magnitude of projects that he commissioned and launched.
They are zero, they're ineffective. Ask yourself, when he went to Northeastern, did he commission in a market? Alifungua hata soko hata moja huko? Kwani ya watu wa Northeastern wananuanga vitu wapi? He never commissioned even a single market. Now, number two, the works of commissioning markets does not belong to the national government. It's a function that is devolved to the county governments. So his actions are actually undermining devolution.
Enemy of devolution, number one?
He has never believed in this constitution. That's a tragedy.
Would you say that the president is desperately so trying to prove that he's working when in the real sense there's little to show about it?
Yeah, because Mr. William Ruto, like I told you, he thinks that is the best next thing to happen after the sliced bread. You know, he thinks that he's the first president in this country. For him, anything that was previously done by the previous presidents was done in the wrong way. For him, he's a man of perfect. He's a man who perfects what was imperfect. You know, and the idea of thinking that he can reset the country all over again back to factory setting is itself impractical. You cannot take us back to factory setting. For example, NHIF has survived about 3-4 regimes.
Sure.
He came and reset the entire clock back to factory setting. Today, as we speak, our mortuaries, our morgues are receiving more bodies than our hospital wards.
Why so?
Because people are not able to afford medical facilities and medical care. Our undertakers in those morgues are more busier than our doctors and our nurses. It tells you this is a big problem.
And not even Duale can solve that.
Funerals are more than birthday parties.
But there was a change at the helm of the health ministry.
It is not about the helm. It's about the entire system, the entire software and hardware. It's not about an individual. Even if Duale comes there and you have not paid the interns for the last 2 years, even if Duale comes there and you have not paid the medics, even if Duale comes there and the hospitals are not equipped with the facilities, even if he does come there and the hospitals are not equipped with medications, atafanya?
So Wanjiru, the president believes he was in Mount Kenya for a development tour and not for a political tour. This, what's your general assessment about his tour in Mount Kenya? Was it a spectacular failure?
It is good that he came and we confirmed to him that sisi Misri tulitoka.
But the crowds were there.
Paid up crowds. I got calls. I got calls from the women, and I have messages in my phone from women who visited the Sagana lounge.
They were there, donned in traditional attire.
Those women, they were each mobilized with a fee of 8,000
per head.
Per head, and the promise was that they were to be mobilized with a fee of 10,000. So there's still a balance of 2,000 that is remaining.
Those were not organic crowds.
None of the crowd was organic. In Githunguri here, we saw numbers of fleets and fleets of buses ferrying people. In Kirinyaga, watu wa Kirinyaga walikuwa wanauliza na huyu ni mtu wa wapi? Wewe na kwani ni wapi? Hata tujai kuona. You understand? They mobilized in Kirinyaga. They mobilized over 3,000 border from the entire region. Borders from Kirinyaga, from Muranga, borders from Nyeri, borders from Embu. All the surrounding neighbors, borders were mobilized, and each was instructed to carry 3 people. All the borders, each was carrying 3 people. You understand? So those are the guys who came to Kirinyaga. People from Kirinyaga never attended those functions.
Allies of the president believe that Senator Methu Muhi and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua are responsible for paying crowds that heckle people like Kimani Ichung'wah in that development tour. Do you think they hold some sense of truth in that allegation?
You know, it will come a time when I'll stop discussing and debating about William Ruto. It will come a time nitasema ni sasa hii maneno ya huyu mtu sitaongea tena.
So was the heckling of Ichung'wah natural?
Nikujibu tu. It will come a time when I'll never discuss about this William Ruto, because the more I discuss about him, the more I get angry. If they know that Methu mobilized, between how is His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua able to mobilize the crowd that we saw there in El Karau? How powerful is he? He must be very powerful. And we thank God that they know that they are facing a real man. So all those allegations, anything that Mr. William Ruto is not able to do, anything that is beyond his ability, he must find an excuse. I was not able to do this because of XYZ. I was not able to do this because His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua did mobilize people. I was not able to do this because His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua was incompetent. I was not able to do this because His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua is tribal. I was not able to do this because His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua is corrupt. So anything Mr. William Ruto is not able to do, he must find an excuse. Remember, he accused His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta. Oh, we are not able to do this because His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta has gotten into hardship with Raila. Oh, the country is not able to deal with debt because His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta has gone to bed with opposition. Oh, the country is not able to move because His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta is a drunkard man. You know, he has to get an excuse for everything.
Gathoni Wamushomba, Githunguri Member of Parliament, has revealed that her security detail has been withdrawn, a chunk of it, and that her life is in danger. And they're going to want to understand, Who could be bailing for the political blood and soul of Gathoni Wamshomba?
Of course, the obvious.
Who does the arrow point to?
William Ruto.
You gonna say that comfortably?
Facing the camera, William Ruto.
Why Wamshomba?
Na mmoja wetu akipotea, tutauliza Wakenya muulize huyo mtu. It's not his first time. Jirongo said that there was a time they were in a campaign and Jirongo disclosed that alionekana kinyonga mtu. That thing is in the media. Was he not even charged in the ICC for the crimes against humanity, raping of women?
So Gathoni Wamshomba isn't.
No, I was saying he was to show that he's capable of doing that. He was charged before the ICC for crimes against humanity, displacement of civilian population, rape of women, burning of the people in the churches. He was accused of it.
Nothing to do with Wamshomba harboring imaginary enemies?
No. She's a very straightforward woman and lady, very decent lady, very well forecast, very strong lady. So it's not possible that Honorable Wamshomba would be making a statement that she has not really thought about.
Moving on swiftly, Ndegwa Njiru, with our conversation.
Yeah.
The NIS and the KDF chief have taken concern with the Ruto must go chant, saying that the right time will come for you to exercise that Ruto must go on August 2027.
Yeah.
Do you think General Kahariri and NIS boss Nurdin Haji are justified to
No, they are not justified.
Call Kenyans to order about the Ruto must go chants?
Thank you. Allow me first of all to deal with the statements made by Nurdin Haji. Even on Sunday, he made a statement saying that the social media remains one of the biggest internal security threats.
Sure.
I reminded him that when he was a DPP, he swore to pursue public interest. I reminded him that in this country we have a report called the Akiwumi Report. Akiwumi Report, for those who do not know, is a 1998-1999 report of a commission of a judge who was called Akiwumi. Justice Akiwumi was mandated to go and investigate the sources and the causes of the internal strives that the country has undergone and tribal clashes. At page 2 of that report, he cites and says that the father to Nuruddin Haji, the late Yusufu Mohammed Haji, Mohammed Yusuf Haji, who was the senator of Garissa, was at the middle of displacing people.
At the center of it?
Go and read page 2. And I would actually wish to read it out for you.
Sure.
So that we understand what we are exactly saying.
But the concern here, Ndegwa Njiru, is that they are not justified to call Kenyans to order.
So they are not justified because if they were justified, when Haji was the DPP and he actually wanted to deal with those issues, he would have first of all implemented this report. It says, page 2, the eviction was indiscriminately undertaken except where one would produce a letter of acceptance, in which case he could be moved to another area. We wish to state here that whether or not the people who were evicted were squatters, illegal or otherwise, the eviction was unlawful as no court order was obtained prior to that. The law in Kenya, as indeed in most common law jurisdictions, is that an eviction is only lawfully done where it has been sanctioned by the court of law. The law bides citizens as well as the government and its servants. It is therefore with dismay that we heard Mohammed Yusuf Haji say with pride that with or without a court order, as provincial commissioner, he could evict anybody if in his discretion the move was essential for the sake of security. Akiwumi report. You can go and find it out. So on the internet.
It's a huge red flag.
When he was a PSC, when the provincial commissioner in Transmara. So if Mr. Haji is so keen about this country, let him, instead of first of all dealing with the issues of the Gen Zs today, let us go to the history of our country and address issues that have been ailing us. The Gen Zs are only doing, and with the millennials, we are only doing and calling our country to order. And the unfortunate thing that Mr. William Ruto and the caliber of Haji are currently facing, the unfortunate thing and the tragedy is they have awakened our consciousness.
No.
And the fact that they have awakened our consciousness, we shall continue to remind him that you, Haji, perhaps you're even taken to school with blood money.
Really?
Yes. The father was a PC when people were being killed in Transmara.
But and
he never stopped it.
It's not Nurdin Haji alone who's taken concern with the need for us to regulate social media. Co-to boss Francis Otoli also shares the same argument that it's high time we regulate social media before we lose our country to the dogs.
Let me not speak about
Francis Atwoli,
General Secretary Francis Atwoli, because at least he has been consistent. When he needs to call out things, he calls them out. But Nurdin Haji is a puppet. Nurdin Haji is a puppet.
Working at the behest of the appointing authority?
Working at the behest of Mr. William Ruto. Why is he concerned about Ruto must go and he's not concerned about people who were extrajudicially killed?
General Kahariri is also concerned about Ruto must go.
General Kahariri is a victim of circumstances. Ni Burukenge amejipata kwenye msafara wa ndovu ama msafara wa mamba. Manake aliyosema ama aliyotamka yatatumiwa kumungatua katika hicho kiti chake.
Despicable.
Yes.
So
Nurdin Haji needs to first of all think whether it is right for him to throw stones at a glass hut or a glass thatched house when he has skeletons, even family skeletons, in his wardrobe. But oh, unto you, our consciousness has been arisen.
We seem to be speaking into the issue of political intolerance in this country.
Yes.
If you look at the events at PCA Church in Mwiki over the weekend, the attack on Rigathi Gachagua, would you say that now that speaks to the full glare of the level of political intolerance in this country?
Absolutely.
And who do you blame for the attack on Rigathi Gachagua?
It's not just intolerance. It also demonstrates how insecure William Ruto is.
Doesn't have a thick skin to take
criticism? He feels so insecure and threatened by our faction, our political axis. He knows that this political axis, Rigathi Gachagua axis, Kalonzo Musyoka axis, Martha Karua axis, and Eugene Wamalwa axis, hii itamungatua mamlakani. Na yeye mwenyewe ameshajua hivyo kwa sababu amesema ya kwamba tutakapomshinda uchaguzi atakwenda kulima. The unfortunate thing is he's going to start kulima on shambas that he himself has grabbed.
Come on, public land?
Yes. So you will be tilting na ataenda kulima mashamba ambayo yeye mwenyewe ameaiba. Are you not aware that people from Davivi are complaining? You saw him tilting the land last week with a tractor.
Sure.
That land is tilting in Dafifi. It's grabbed land. People have been displaced. Hiyo ni shamba ambayo mwenyewe ameibia watu.
Can the president be that inhuman?
Oh, what are you talking about? Ask Muturi. Ask His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. He will tell you. Let me tell you, bro. If you see the alligator coming from the river, and the alligator tells you that the crocodile is sick, who are you to doubt?
So those claiming that all these people attacking President Ruto are bitter, they are just well-fed crocodiles who are harmless.
Of course. The Nigerians say a well-fed crocodile is harmless, and it is true.
Because people like C.S. Murkomen believe that the Gen Z could be handling mental issues. That's why they are big on going bare knuckles on the government of today. It could be issues to do with mental health.
I would suggest before he suspects the mental infirmity of the Gen Zs, that he first of all considers to have his boss assessed first. Yes. He needs to consider before he proposes such kind of things that his boss needs to have some mental assessment first.
Let's shift gears a bit, Ndegwa, and let's talk about the future of Kenya's economy. We are looking towards Finance Bill 2025, and MP Kuria Kimani has asked Kenyans to exercise rational thinking when it comes to legislation about Finance Bill 2025. From a general perspective, do you think it's a welcome move for Kenyans to indeed look at Finance Bill 2025 and receive it with some logical thinking therein?
What we shall promise the drafters of that bill is that we shall oppose it in the same magnitude and perhaps of a higher scale than it happened last year.
So it's dead on arrival?
If the same will appear to be oppressive to our people. So if I were William Ruto, I would be buying more water cannons. I would be buying more tear gas. I'll be asking his friends, the RMS from Sudan, to bring their soldiers here, because Mr. William Ruto, we promise you that we shall oppose the same finance bill with the same vigor and vitality and of higher magnitude and higher scale than we did last year, if the bill will appear to be oppressive to our people.
Ndego Njiru, could you be the proverbial diary of an angry man? Because you seem to be prophesying doom for the country.
What can make me angry?
Are you an alarmist?
What can make me angry? There's nothing that can make me angry.
Because you're talking about bad times ahead.
Well, we can, of course, anticipate the same. We can anticipate it. Of course, we are dealing with a rogue president. Of course, we are dealing with a person who cares not.
Not even
we are dealing with a person who has decided to convert the country into a company for his own pocket enrichment. We are dealing with a person who has taken this country as his business enterprise. So what else do you expect? There's no kind words for him. His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua told us that Mr. William Ruto has converted this country into a business enterprise.
Not that
any deal that he's doing, and the same has been confirmed by Muturi, that any deal that he's doing is just doing it for purposes of for transactional purposes. Who am I to doubt? The crocodiles, the alligator says the crocodile is sick. Who am I to doubt? The alligator says the crocodile is sick. Who is never to doubt? The alligator says the crocodile is sick. Who are Kenyans to doubt? We can just prepare ourselves, because that is coming, and we know it is coming, and we do not want it to get us by surprise. That's why I'm telling Kenyans, prepare yourselves.
To take on the enemy?
Yes.
There are those who believe that the president, in some aspects, he is coming out as a good Samaritan, and especially on that front of Kenya's foreign diplomatic outlook, how the president has handled the issue about South Sudan, Congo crisis, the war in Haiti. Do you believe the president is making the right start when it comes to Kenya's diplomatic outlook?
He has completely mutilated our diplomatic standing in the region and in the world.
How so?
Because he thinks that diplomatic matters and issues should be handled in the manner in which he feeds his chicken at Sugoi. That's simple.
Not even sending Raila Odinga as an emissary to handle some of the issues?
A man who has been rejected by the same country, by Africa, and then you think that you can use him as an emissary or as an ambassador or as a diplomat. Raila has never been a diplomat. Wewe ushaisikia jina ikiitwa kwa jina yake diplomat Raila Odinga?
Not a diplomat of any shade?
No, he has no diplomats of any change. And you can see even if of any shade or any color, and you can even see his reactions. The first thing when he went to Khartoum, to Juba, was, I want to see Riek Machar.
Yeah.
He has not even laid the basis. It's the first time he's meeting the president. He's making unreasonable demands. You see, he goofed. And what did you expect?
So even the president's pronouncement on Kosovo still was unwelcomed.
I've told you, William Ruto has caused havocs, both in the continent and outside the continent.
So now Kenya is an enemy of many nations out here.
And he's attracting many enemies for no apparent reason. And the quicker we sort out Mr. William Ruto through the elections, the better for us and the better for this country. The quicker we shall be able to regain our country back. The quicker we shall be able to redeem our country. The quicker we shall be able to start rebuilding our country. And remember, we shall have a lot of work to do, because we shall be rebuilding our diplomatic relationship with other neighbors and other countries. We shall be rebuilding our economy. We are looking to rebuild our health care system. We'll be rebuilding our health, our education system. We'll be rebuilding our security system. Remember, our security system has been compromised to the extent that now you can see all the key security organs are now involved in politics. Kahari is involved in politics, Nurinaj is in politics, Kaja is in politics. You can see. So we shall also be rebuilding the entire system. So I even pity the president who is going to take over in 2027 after William Ruto, because he'll have a lot of work and people will have a lot of expectations for him. So it will not be easy for the president who will come. And because we shall agree between ourselves, whether it shall be Kalonzo or Rigathi or Martha or Eugene, we shall agree and shall come with one presidential candidate to face Mr. William Ruto. Look, you've been told that the 4 chiefs who were
abducted.
Not abducted. That's not an abduction.
Really? It was stage managed?
Listen, the Al-Shabaab came and took hostage of chiefs.
Al-Shabaab?
What, is it not what we were told by Murkomen? But do you understand what happened?
Tell me.
The government went to bed with Al-Shabaab and negotiated with Al-Shabaab for them to be released.
The government of Kenya negotiates with terrorists?
Yes. Yet, our soldiers are still consuming our revenue, our taxes in Somali. It tells you that our engagement in Somali is ineffective. It calls therefore for the opportunity or the chance for us to withdraw our soldiers. Why are we risking their lives?
If
government can negotiate with the terrorists. Yes.
So what was...
Let Murkomen go public and tell us what were the circumstances that led to the release of those 4 men.
You seem to be talking about the issue about people...
And that's a very serious issue, by the way. Very serious
people
issue.
Scheming for the rigging of the 2027 elections. And Kalonzo Musyoka, His Excellency, has taken concern with the reconstitution of IBC, saying that ODM is meddling in that reconstitution process. ODM, on their end, believe that they are just adopting the NADCO report to the extreme when it comes to the reconstitution of IBC.
Yeah.
Is Kalonzo Musyoka harboring fears of defeat in 2027?
Let me tell you, our team has no fear whatsoever. Where Kalonzo Musyoka comes from, he has over 3 million solid votes. Over 3 million solid votes.
Already has a head start.
Kasongo, where he comes from, he has 1.5 solid votes. Where His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua comes from, we shall be having over 7 million solid votes. 3 plus 7, 10. Kasongo, 1 point, even call it 2 million. Even call it. Baba has about a solid 4 million vote block. So 4 plus 2, that is 6. Kalonzo, Mount Kenya South and Mount Kenya North has over 10 million votes. Sasa let us our Malwa 3 million votes. That's 13. Let us a Gen Z. Now let us a payslip earners zile Kasongo amevamia. Huyu jamaa, huyu Kasongo, huyu Ruto, huyu na nataka uhakikishe na uweke hii katika karakana zako za kumbukumbu.
Sure.
Tutamshinda na zaidi ya milioni 13.
Spectacular failure.
Kwa kura. Na tunataka kumwambia hivi. Kwa sababu wewe Kasongo tutakushinda. State House utatoka, upende, usipende.
2027?
2027. Na niseme hivi, na nataka kuzungumza kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Wakenya wameapa ya kwamba katika Jamhuri ya Kenya liwe liwalo, hakuna rais yule atakayeapishwa katika Jamhuri ya Kenya kama ameiba kura. Ni vizuri tuelewane.
Zero rigging in 2027.
There is no president who is going to be sworn in this country if your victory is questionable. Be it Kasongo or be it our axis, no president will be sworn in. If the votes, the manner in which you claim to have garnered those votes is questionable, has been disputed. The Gen Zs have spoken and they are out there and they'll be out to guard our votes. And not just the Gen Zs, every Kenyans. Now Kenyans have realized the importance of an election.
Wakili Ndegwa Njiru, you are talking about the president losing his political support and political base by the day. But if you look at events unfolding today, that of, say, Jane Kihara now crossing over to President William Ruto's camp.
Jane Kihara?
I mean, the MPs we saw during the Mount Kenya tour.
This MP from Maragua. Wamaua. Jane Kihara is a solid, solid mother of this nation.
So if you look at events like Wamaua crossing over to Ruto's camp, and saying she'll pay her allegiance to President Ruto, even to the run-up of 2027 elections. Are you not in fear that more lieutenants from Rigathi Gachagua could now cross over to the other divide?
Let me tell you, this battle is not for the faint-hearted. No, it's not for the faint-hearted. Hii ni safari itakayotembewa na yule mtu ambaye ameamua kwamba atatembea hii safari. Na kwamba kwa sababu ni wakati wa ukombozi sasa, atajiunga na wale watu wanaopigania ukombozi wa nchi ya Kenya. Number 2, it's not about the leaders where they are, it's about where the people are.
Not about Wamaua?
It's not about Wamaua. It's about where the people are. Umati na halaiki ya watu wanasema nini? Umati na halaiki ya watu wanasema apende asipende, Ruto must go.
Not even attempts to dangle development carrots upon the masses will lure people to support President William Ruto.
In 2022, the people from the mountain, even when His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta attempted to convince them that he has done roads, walisema hao hakulangi barabara. That is to the extent, wakikushiba wamekushiba, wakimalizana na wewe wamemalizana na wewe. Yes.
Finally, Ndegwa Njiru Wakili, you're talking about this coalition that's going to take over government in 2027
yes.
through the ballot.
The Ukombozi Coalition.
Ukombozi Coalition.
Yeah, no, but we are currently calling ourselves the People Royal Coalition.
The People's Loyal Coalition.
The People's Royal Coalition.
What do you think is your selling point that's going to give you a competitive edge over President William Ruto in the 2027 elections?
One of the competitive edge is that we shall look at the character of the presidential candidate. Any person who has an opposite character of William Ruto is fit to be president. We shall not just look at the promises that you are giving us and at your manifesto. We shall also look at your character as a man or as a woman. So besides the manifesto, the well-oiled, the perfumed manifesto, we shall interrogate the character of that individual. The character of that presidential candidate. And the character of the individuals who are lining up behind you.
But this far you seem to have arrived at a conclusion that it's going to be Kalonzo Musyoka.
No, I wouldn't say that because we have a coalition. People's Royal Coalition. The principals will decide, they'll give us one presidential candidate. And that one is agreed. They are saying they are going to shellfish all their interest to redeem, reclaim, and rebuild this country.
So character takes the front row seat.
We shall look at the character of the individuals.
What comes in second?
What comes in second is the ability to trust you.
No trust deficits.
Not trust deficit. If there is trust deficit, unasonga sugoi. If your character does not befit a leader, unasonga sugoi. If the character of the individuals following you does not fit a leader, unasonga sugoi.
Is Raila Odinga welcome to your coalition?
Allow me not to. You know, the unfortunate thing is that he's not trustworthy. Hawezi enda safari na Raila Odinga. Hakuna mtu amekwenda safari na Raila Odinga wakafika mahali wanaenda. Lakini akija kwa coalition yetu ni sawa, akuja apange line.
But not as the front runner.
Akuja apanga line nyuma ya wale watu wengine. Sisi tushapanga line.
So what if he owns up his mistakes and meets his Damascus moment and says, Ndegwa Njiru, I can join your coalition, but on the condition that I be the flag bearer? Is that a welcome thing from your end? We
shall remind him that for the last 5 occasions he has attempted, he has not delivered. So it's now the first time, then it's a high time we get someone else who can deliver. If you have cows or goats, and you have only one bull in that cow, and you realize that there are no calves coming from that shed, then there's a problem with that bull. Yes.
Ndegwa Njiru, very finally, there's a young child maybe in Kirinyaga County or even Kisumu, and they're looking at Ndegwa Njiru make comments on this particular program talking about SHA not working, the economy going to the dogs, our politicians have hijacked democracy and governance, and this child probably is now looking at doom and nothing beyond that. What is the word to that Kenyan child today?
The word to that Kenyan who feels desperate is that I'll tell him there is hope for tomorrow. I'll tell him there are people who are fighting to liberate this country, There are freedom fighters out there fighting to reclaim back our country.
Latter day Dedan Kimathis?
We are actually not the latter days Dedan Kimathi. We are the Dedan Kimathis of today. And therefore, you should not lose hope. But I'll tell you that you shall exercise your sovereignty to vote a president cautiously. Because it is as a result of your votes that we currently have this problem. So if we have somebody who is going to vote, and you vote wisely, and you look at the character of the person saying that you want to be the president, and his ability to trust him, then we have hope for tomorrow. And that hope finds itself in us, the People's Royal Coalition. We are looking at a situation whereby we are going to reform the entire civil service. So the entire civil service will be a government machine that will respond to the demands of the people. If you have a weak civil service, you'll have no delivery of government projects.
So in your government, they won't be weaponizing
We shall completely delink the civil service from the politics of the day.
No TSC letters coming from politicians.
Let me tell you, when we take over power, even the controller of state, the head of civil service will not sit in cabinet. We'll have some serious autonomy so that the civil service becomes a completely separate entity from the politics of the day. So that it becomes a perpetual transitional civil service that will not be affected by the transitions that will come.
So in your government, public service opportunities won't be weaponized.
It will be number one.
As a tool for political scores.
It will be number one. Because once we reform civil service, we'll reform the police, we'll reform the NIS, we'll reform the entire, we'll reform the education system, we shall reform healthcare, we'll reform the land policy, we'll reform the policies that exist in this country. It shall be a completely autonomous. We are looking into putting into place a caring and a listening government.
A humane government.
A humane government that is responsive to the plight of the people. If the people have said they do not want SHA, we shall ask them, what do you want? We shall put into place a system that responds to the challenges of the Kenyans people.
Without sinking the country into debt.
Without sinking the country into debts. And if it will become necessary for us to take debts, then the debts will be appropriated for the purpose for which they have been acquired. The current problem that we have is the country is sinking down deep and deep into debts, but the debts are not being appropriated for the purpose for which they have been acquired.
All right.
They are being acquired for enrichment of individuals. We shall ensure that the civil service operates on the basis of meritocracy. Merits will be a key thing in the manner which you shall run the public service. If you have a functional public service, my friend, you have a functional country.
There you have it. Thank you so much, Wakili. Most finally, on a very light note, why is the media fraternity awash with news of your endorsement for Kirinyaga senatorial bid?
Well, I don't know. Let me not comment.
Sure.
Yes, but we shall ask God to give us guidance and to lead us. We shall say, guide me, O thy great Jehovah. We shall be singing that song, and we are singing that song, that guide me, O thy great Jehovah. Yes.
The diaspora community that follows our program have asked me for one thing.
Yes.
Ndengo Njiru, it's high time you sing for us Kirinyaga Itungati. And what does that mean even in the first place?
It means, Itungati means that we are servants. It came during the fight for liberation of this country. People had to be convinced that you are serving your nation by going to the bush and fighting for liberation of this country. You are serving your nation. You are a servant of the people. So don't feel like too much is being called upon you to do or to offer when we ask you, come out and help us liberate this country. And this time, and His Excellency Kalonzo has said severally, that wakati huu ni wa Kenya wajikomboe. So when you see me going out there in those active engagements, I am not just going there because I want to be a senator, I want to be an MP, I want to be a governor, I want to be the president. No. I am going there because I have to do the little thing that must be done to redeem this country. I am going out there in the application of the hummingbird principle. That despite the size of my beak, the bush is burning. We have no home if the bush burns. Country is burning, the Kenya is burning. So I'll go out there with my little beak and pick the little water that I can pick and try to put out the fire. And that's the call and the clamor we are calling upon Kenyans. Come out, Kenyans, with a little of as small as a beak may be. Do not think that the elephant should have the responsibility of putting out the fire through its trunk. Don't think that the lion should be the one to put out the fire. Don't think that the giraffe, because of its gait and size, should be the one to put its fire. Don't think that the rhino, because of its strength and the horns, should be the one to put out the fire. It is you, the little person. It's you with the little hummingbird, with a small beak, as small as it is, who is going to help us put out this fire in this country. Otherwise, if we don't put out this fire, the country is burning. The country will burn. And the country is going to the dogs. We must redeem this country. Please, Kenyans, offer yourself. Sacrifice yourself. Join hands. Let us join each other in redeeming this country. Let us join each other in redeeming and rebuilding our country. It is our country. It is the only bush we have. If the bush burns, we will have no place to call home.
Be the dead and Kimani.
We have to be the person that we must be for us to redeem this country. It's a call that I'm calling upon all Kenyans. It's a very emotional call that I'm doing and making this.
I'm seeing very passionate about it.
It's a very emotional call I'm calling. When we come out there, please come and embrace us. Don't ask us to mobilize you with 2,000, 8,000. We don't have. But we have the call and the duty and the obligation to redeem this country. The only thing that we have, just like Moses when he was being called to lead up the children of Israel from Egypt, is just a stick and a staff that we are going to hold onto our hands. We part the waters of the Red Sea for the children of Israel to pass. Oh, Kenyans, come and join us.
There you have it. Give it to them.
Thank you.
To be fair to our diaspora community.
Mokoria Kenya ne ya uikiri nyaga ya itungati inengweigwa mokuga atenengweigwa ninasahau kidogo nitaikumbuka kidogo
kere nyaga ya itungati. Well, there you have it from Wakili Ndegwa Njiru, a firebrand leader in this country, a thought leader, an opinion shaper, and he really upholds the best that Kenya should actually have in his heart. It remains to be seen whether you people will acknowledge him as a patriot at heart, but we believe he holds the best interest for this country. Thank you so much, Wakili.
Thank you.
For slating time for our program. Once again,
thank you, bro.
We still have our Easter special coming up.
Yes. I had to leave a lot of work for me to come and engage you. You can see my desk is full.
I get it.
We are doing this because it must be done.
National duty.
Let me tell you, the hummingbird must go out there.
All right.
Yes.
There you have it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Also extend our many thanks
pleasure.
to your law firm, Ndegwa Company Advocates.
It's a pleasure.
For availing this opportunity for us to host you on the program.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wakili.
And you should tell the people that we operate from Kiambere Road, Upper Hill. A building called Woodland Business Park.
Woodland Business Park along Kiambere Road, Upper Hill.
Yeah, and we are people servants.
Keep this conversation going beyond here. I'm at Mwenja Richard on my social media handles. Get Wakili Ndegwa Njiru at Njiru Advocate on Twitter and across his other social media handles. Until we get to do this again, do enjoy the rest of your viewing and truly be a patriotic Kenyan.